So what are Dave Ramsey's baby steps, and are they right for you? Should you be using them in your life or in your business? We're going to talk about some of the pros and cons of the 7 baby steps in today's training. Hey everyone, it's Mike Adams, and on this channel we empower individuals to achieve freedom through improved financial literacy. If you're new to the channel, make sure to click subscribe, click the bell, so that way you get notified on any and all of our future content. So in today's video, guys, we're going to be discussing some of the pros and cons to Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps. And we did an overview of the 7 baby steps on this channel. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link to it either at the end of this video or below. If you haven't seen that overview, check that out. But I'm going to give you guys some of the pros and cons to those 7 baby steps, from my perspective. And again, of course, this is in my humble opinion. And again, for me, we spend a lot of time as entrepreneurs. I'm always focused on cash flow. For most people, I really like these 7 baby steps. I think they're a great place to start. And again, depending on your particular goals and your particular aspirations with personal finance or potentially building wealth or getting into investing, depending on what your goals are really what's going to make the difference on whether or not, just following those 7 baby steps is right for you or not. Depending on what your goals are, you may want to make some different plays here and make a couple of adjustments. So when I look at those 7 baby steps, the first one, of course, build a $1,000 emergency fund. Love that. If you don't have an emergency fund, obviously it's good to have one. And there's a lot of different ways that you can establish an emergency fund. That could be a bank savings account. It could be a line of credit. Okay, which you just have kind of on deck with some available leverage there just in case stuff happens. It could be extra money that you're putting into a cash value policy that you can draw from whenever you need to. So establishing that small emergency fund is a great place to get started. The next step is to start paying off some debt, okay? And here on this channel, we talk about a lot of different strategies towards paying off debt. One of the primary strategies we talk about is called velocity banking, where we are leveraging other people's money. So we're leveraging a line of credit to pay off our debts much, much quicker. And it's a very powerful, powerful technique that works on all of your amortized loans. So your mortgage loans, your student loans, your car loans, all the good stuff. Get those paid off and save a boatload of money in interest. And so step 2 is yes, you want to start paying off all of your debt. He's recommending just using the snowball method. I'd recommend using that in conjunction with the velocity banking strategy. And if you haven't learned about velocity banking, again, we'll link to that below this video. Watch the overview. That video will change your life and change the way you think about money. It'll change the way you think about all the debts, student loans, mortgages, and debts that you currently deal with in your everyday life, and how to attack them so you can save money instead of giving all your money to the banks. Watch that video, it'll save you a ton of money. Now, when you get into Dave's 3rd step, he talks about building the 6-month emergency fund. And again, for those that are utilizing strategies like velocity banking, the emergency fund is contained inside of your line of credit. Again, when it comes to an emergency fund, yes, you can certainly save up money in a bank account and have 6 months worth of savings sitting in an account. But for other folks, okay, if your goal is more, I want to get rid of this debt quicker because I am bleeding money in interest every single month. So again, depending on your goal, you may want to take that money and get that money into the debt, okay? And the best way to get it in, right? I don't recommend necessarily taking all of your cash and sending it right to the loan, because then you lose access to the principal. Okay, you're sending in extra payments on your loans. Anything extra just goes right to the loan. You can put money in, but you can never take money back out. And that's where, through utilizing velocity banking, we're maximizing our cash flow. We start using the line of credit as our new checking account. So all of your expenses go onto the line every single month. All of your income goes into the line. And then based on your positive cash flow. So again, you have to have more money coming in than you spend. That's the only way to pay down debt the only way to pay down principal is to pay down principal. So you must make more money than you spend. But they're using velocity banking and all they're going into your line, that balance will go down by your cash flow number every single month, allowing you to make big chunk payments on those loans and bring it over. And if you really understand how these loans work, on the front end of the loan, that's where you're paying the heaviest amount of interest. So velocity banking really is powerful, and used in conjunction with the snowball or the avalanche or other techniques really will allow you to save a ton of money in interest and accelerate the debt payoff. Now, and this is where you start getting into the fourth, fifth, and really the sixth step. And this is really where it starts to get a little dicey for me, because it really depends on the person on what should really come next. He is saying that you want to start immediately investing into like an IRA Roth, 15% of your income, and then start saving for college. And then once the college is all saved up for, then pay off the mortgage, okay? Now, for some people, that might be the right way to do it, depending on your age, depending on your goals, depending on what you're trying to do with your money. Okay, if you're wanting to get it over to a financial planner and go that route with your money. And again, that might be right for some people. Okay, many other people on this channel are investors. They put their money in different spots. They control it differently. So again, stuffing that percentage into a Roth may or may not be the correct place for you to place that money based on who you are, your particular skill set, and your particular goals, okay? If you have a different place you can put that money for a higher return, maybe it's not in an IRA Roth. Now, can you use an IRA Roth to invest in, let's say, real estate or buying businesses or buying gold or silver? Yes, you can. Now, you do have to properly structure, okay, an IRA Roth, but it's a very powerful way, to do investments where you can actually self-direct it. You can actually control the investment. So instead of being in the market, you could be using your IRA to buy, let's say, real estate, okay? And let's say you flip a property using your IRA Roth, the profits go back into your IRA Roth tax-free. So it's a very powerful tool, the self-directed IRA Roth, and very powerful way to use it. So again, there's other different strokes for different folks. Depending on who you are, will depend on whether step 4 is going to come first for you. Step 5, let's say you don't have any kids. Let's say you don't have any intention on funding a college. You may not be concerned at all about funding a college, okay, or funding a college education. So step 5 may or may not even be in play for some folks. And if that's the case, obviously step 6 is going right after the mortgage. And some folks, okay, so the option to either invest that 15% or pay off the mortgage early. Again, for some folks, depending on who you are and what your goals are, you may want to go after that mortgage early, right? You may want to even take that mortgage and bring it all the way back to step 2 and just pay off all of your debt, okay? And again, if you're using powerful strategies like velocity banking, where you have lines of credit to use as leverage, as an emergency fund, if something does happen, you may want to knock out all the debt first so you can save the maximum amount of money in interest. So again, depending on who you are, when it comes to steps 4, 5, and 6, that's really where it starts to depend on the person. And then of course, when it comes to step 7, where you're building wealth and becoming a philanthropist, again, that's going to happen. That will still definitely happen 7th, but again, 4, 5, and 6 is going to happen a little bit different depending on who you are and your particular goals. And really, when I talk to folks and talk to clients, it's really different for each person. And I think what's great about what Dave did here with these 7 steps is that for the masses, okay, and really the masses, most of us heard things growing up like go to school, get good grades. We heard a lot of old school mentality. You want to be something in this world. You need to go to school, get good grades, get a great degree, get a great job, work your way up. The only 2 things that are certain in life are death and taxes. We heard a lot of stuff like that growing up, and really, so for those that heard a lot of that growing up, these 7 steps make sense, right? They click, they make sense. It's like, you know what? That is what I need to do to logically, kind of start getting ahead throughout my life. Over the 40 years I'm going to be working in my life, if I follow these 7 steps, I'll be on my way. And so based on that old school mentality, these 7 steps really work. And that's why for the masses, the 7 steps really can work. Okay, but again, depending on who you are, depending on what kind of goals you have for your retirement, for your lifestyle, for your business, okay, if you're a business owner, steps 4, 5, and 6 might be a little bit different just depending on your goals and how you need to utilize your resources. So again, guys, those are some of the pros and some of the cons of the 7 steps and how we might use them differently depending on the person. I'll be curious to hear your thoughts about this. If you found value in this training, make sure to give it a comment, give it a like below. I will see you guys in the next video.